Well, in this video today we're going to show how to install a new radius tabletop on the Sidetrack saw table. I've taken off the old top and we're going to put a new top on with this new radius plate. This is what locks into the indent positions for the roof pitches. So what we're going to do is put the top in place and put a few screws in it. Before you put the top in, you're going to want to take the file or something and hit these screw holes because they have burrs on them from the previous top being screwed into them. So once you put the top on, it should locate against your other top since you're going to leave it in place. This one doesn't get cut up very much, but anyway, this will help locate the top back where it should be. Once you have it in place, I put some C-clamps on it and then lock it down. Once the clamps are in place, I'll put a few screws in it. Hopefully they line up. The drilling jig is pretty much consistent since I first started making these, so they should be pretty close. But you want to clamp these down so the screws hold good in that location. Now I have the screws in. You got to be careful because this material is a dense foam and the screws can go right through the foam easy, so go about 1/8 inch below the top with these screws just so they're snug. Then you're going to take the radius plate with the countersinks down and you're going to put it under the tabletop just like this, and you're going to hold it with a couple C-clamps. Now that you have the C-clamps on, holding the radius plate up to the bottom, you want these clamps to be fairly loose, and then you're going to put the saw slide on, and that's how we locate the radius plate into the right pitch position. You want to put this index block side in first on a little bit of an angle, then drop it in onto the pivot shaft hole here, and then install your pivot shaft knob just to keep it kind of snug. Then you're going to want to lock the saw slide into your 4-pitch position here. Get it close to the position and then move the radius plate in and out until it locks. You can feel it locked into the indent. Then what I do is I take this pitch guide template that I made up. You can use a 2x12. You want to put a 412 angle on it, a 1212, which is a 45 degree, and a 312. I'm going to slide this up to about where 4 is and check to see if it's good. If it locks into 4 and it's running true, you tighten the C-clamp, snug up the radius plate so it don't move, slide it all the way over to the 312 pitch and do the same thing. Line it up with that line, tighten this knob, and I usually go to a 12-12 pitch, which is 45 degree. And if you have one of these large speed squares, that comes in handy because you can set it right on this backstop here like this and slide it right up close to the saw slide, and you can see it's running pretty close to 45 degree. Once that's set, you got these locked in place. You can take the saw slide off, and then we're going to flip it over so we can put the countersunk screws in to hold the radius plate. So now I have the saw slide off, I'm going to flip this over. And now that the radius plate is locked in place with its 2 C-clamps, it's in the right position. We'll put these small screws in place to hold it. There's 7 of them. Okay, I've got these 7 screws in. And you can see by where the ball plunger is rubbing on the aluminum plate that it's hitting those indents pretty much dead center. Flip the tabletop back over and we'll put the saw slide back on and see how it locks into those positions. Now I got the C-clamps off, I can put the saw slide back on. As you can see, it's clicking into just about every one of these. There'll be one indent here at the cross-cut position, which is 90 degrees. 45 degree here at the 12-12. And there's also one for when you put the saw table away. There's an indent that locks it in parallel to the backstop. And that's all you have to do. I do usually put a little small amount of grease or Vaseline, anything on these indents that keeps the ball plunger from scraping and rubbing. Makes it work a lot easier. You can also tighten this ball plunger screw. It's got a Phillips screwdriver will tighten that. If you get it too tight, it won't lock, but you can periodically snug it up if it needs it. Anyway, there you go. Any questions, let me know. Thank you.